All right, let's do something a little different today. We're going to take a look back at 2025, but not just as another year on the calendar. We're looking at it through the lens of numerology to try and make sense of what was, let's be honest, a pretty wild and challenging year for a lot of us. Let's audit 2025 together.
So let me start with a question. Just think back for a second. Did 2025 feel less like a new beginning and more like the final chapter of a really, really long book? You know, a year filled with conclusions, some struggles, and some major, maybe even uncomfortable shifts? If you're nodding your head right now, you weren't alone. You were tapping into a really powerful collective energy.
And that energy, it has a name. In numerology, 2025 was a universal 9-year. It's simple, really. You just add the digits. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And the number 9 is all about completion, purging, and letting go. So think of last year not as a fresh start, but more like a cosmic cleanup, a necessary great exhale before we could even think about starting a new cycle. Okay, let's make this personal. To really see how this 9 energy hit you, you need to know your life path number. So grab a piece of paper or open the calculator on your phone. Write down your full birthday, the month, the day, and the full 4-digit year. Now add up every single one of those digits. If you get a 2-digit number, just add those 2 digits together. Keep doing that until you get a single number between 1 and 9. Now, there are a few exceptions. If you land on 11, 22, or 33, stop right there. Those are supercharged master numbers. Got it? Awesome. Let's see what 2025 had in store for you.
All right, let's kick things off with the Leaders and the Pioneers Life Path 1. If this is you, you're all about starting things, being number one, and just charging ahead.
So, 2025 probably felt like you were trying to drive with the emergency brake yanked all the way up. See, a universal 9-year is about finishing, which goes against your entire nature. So it forced you into a kind of identity audit. You had to really look at who you were without the usual forward momentum. And the result? By the end of the year, I bet you severed ties with something or someone that was holding you back, and you walked away with a way stronger sense of your own independence.
Okay, moving on to Life Path 2. You are the diplomats, the peacekeepers. You value harmony and connection more than anything.
For you, 2025 was probably intense and very emotional. That 9 energy is like a truth serum, and it brought a lot of hidden feelings in your relationships bubbling right to the surface. Your whole vibe of keeping the peace, even when it costs you, yeah, that just wasn't going to fly anymore. The big lesson here is that you learned true harmony isn't just about avoiding fights. Sometimes it requires healthy conflict. You likely walked away from a connection that was draining you dry and learned how to put up a much-needed fence around your energy. Now for the communicators, the creatives, the social butterflies. Life Path 3. Your world is usually bright, optimistic, and full of expression. But 2025 pretty much demanded that you get real. That whole fake it till you make it energy just wasn't working. This was the year you were pushed to express what you were really feeling, even the messy stuff like grief or frustration. It was a perfect example of that 9-year purge. You had to strip away a social mask, and you probably ended the year with fewer friends. But the ones who stuck around? They're the real deal. Okay, how about the builders of the world? Life Path 4. You're all about stability, hard work, and creating solid foundations. You like things to be secure, which means 2025 was probably pretty uncomfortable for you. That 9 energy is shaky, and it likely shook the very ground you stand on. The systems, jobs, or routines you thought were rock solid suddenly started showing some major cracks. Your big lesson was all about flexibility. You likely had to rebuild a whole part of your life from the ground up. But here's the key. You did it with better, stronger materials this time. What about the adventurers, the freedom seekers? Life Path 5? That's you. Your soul just craves new experiences, travel, and a whole lot of change. Well, interestingly enough, 2025 challenged your whole definition of freedom. Your big lesson was that running away from your problems isn't the same thing as being free. The universe basically forced you to sit still and finally deal with your baggage instead of just chasing the next shiny distraction. By the end of the year, you probably let go of an old habit or a vice and discovered that true, lasting freedom, well, it's an inside job.
All right, let's talk about our nurturers and caregivers, Life Path 6. You are the heart of your family and your community, always looking out for everybody else.
Well, in 2025, the universe flipped the script and asked, who's nurturing the nurturer? It was a year of some serious compassion fatigue. You were basically forced to resign from your self-appointed role as the CEO of everyone else's problems. This meant letting go of the guilt, setting some really hard boundaries, and finally, reclaiming your own time and your own energy. Okay, now for the analysts, the thinkers, and the spiritual seekers of Life Path 7. You are always digging for a deeper truth. For you, 2025 was a total hermit year, wasn't it? You probably pulled way back from the world, but not because you were sad. It was like a necessary incubation period. You were deep in thought, questioning everything, your beliefs, your path, reality itself. And the result of that deep dive was a massive breakthrough. You shed a core belief system that was holding you back, and it's paved the way for a huge spiritual or intellectual pivot. Let's talk about the powerhouses, Life Path 8. You are the executives, the manifestors. You are driven to build, achieve, and succeed in the material world.
Now, this is where it gets super interesting because the 8 energy, which is all build, 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 and the 9 energy, release, 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 are in direct conflict. So 2025 likely hit your wallet or maybe your ego pretty hard. It was a masterclass in surrender. It taught you that some things just can't be controlled no matter how much money or status you have. You had to redefine success and learn that real power isn't about what you have, it's about how resilient you are.
And finally, we arrive at Life Path 9, the humanitarians. Now, in a universal 9 year, you were in your element, but that does not mean it was easy. For you, it was a double whammy. Your personal year matched the universal year, which means the intensity was just off the charts. Absolutely everything in your life that wasn't totally aligned with your soul was just stripped away. It was a year of huge endings, probably some grief, but ultimately a massive sense of relief. You are simply not the same person you were at the start of 2025. And hey, a quick note for our master numbers out there, 11, 22, and 33. You felt this purging energy on a whole other level, like it was high voltage. For the intuitive 11s, it was total sensory overload, forcing you to finally shield your energy. For the Master Builder 22s, any unstable thing you built probably came crashing down so you could rebuild it right. And for the compassionate 33s, you learned the tough lesson of letting the people you love figure things out on their own.
So what's the bottom line here? The crucial point is this. 2025 was the necessary end. It was the final chapter, the grand finale, the purging fire that we all had to walk through. But now we're in 2026, a universal 1 year. The energy has done a complete 180, shifting from releasing to initiating, from endings to brand new beginnings. You've done the hard work. You've let go. You've cleared the decks. You've taken out the trash. And that leaves us with one last really powerful question as we move forward. The slate is now completely clean. What are you going to build on it?